Let's read a book with Teacher Clau. So come on, let's start.
Today we are going to read Ellie and the Cupcakes. There were two things Ellie wanted more than anything in the world. She wanted to eat cupcakes all day long. And she wanted to be big, not big like a grown-up. Ellie wanted to be a giant. She hoped and dreamed that one day she would become a giant. She would have a pet elephant and walk him on a leash. People would look at her in wonder and say, "Look, Ellie, the giant is coming." Then one day it happened. Ellie threw a coin into a wishing well, and in a burst of fizzy sparkles, her wish came true. She looked around in amazement, reached up and touched the sky. Birds landed on her head and tried to build a nest in her hair. This was fun. When a fluffy cloud flopped past her face, Ellie stuck her tongue out and gave it a lick. It was nice, but not as nice as cupcakes. She sprinted home to show her mom, but the ground shook with every step and the nearby houses rattled. "Ellie!" cried the villagers. "We like you better when you weren't a giant." Mom was startled when she saw a massive eye peeking through the kitchen window. "You need to go back to the wishing well and make yourself little again," said Mom. "And hurry up, it's almost time for tea." But Ellie was big now, so there was no need to listen to Mom. She ran to the playground and tried climbing up the ladder at the slide, but her feet were too big for the rungs. When she saw she couldn't go on the slide, she tried the swings. But the swings weren't meant to be used by giants. As soon as she sat down, crash! "Ellie!" cried the children. "We like you better when you weren't a giant." Ellie ran off again and passed by a field where her friends were kicking a ball. She went to join them, but when she kicked the ball, it flew so far that no one could see it anymore. "Oh, Ellie," they cried, "we like you better when you weren't a giant." Poor Ellie, this was not how she imagined things would be once she got her wish. She also didn't get her pet elephant. She went back home and sat on the grass outside. Her mother came out, holding a tray of cupcakes. "I baked these just for you," she said. "They're tiny," Ellie protested. "They are the same as usual, sweetheart," her mom replied. "But because you're so big, everything seemed a lot smaller." Ellie sang. She told her mom how no one liked her now that she was a giant. Her friends didn't want to play with her, and she kept breaking things. "I will love you no matter how big or small you are," Mom smiled. "But what about you? Do you like yourself like this?" Ellie thought about it. "It's what I always wanted, and at first it was great, but I can't play anymore, and cupcakes are way too small." Mom nodded and said, "In that case, you know what you need to do." Ellie went back to the wishing well and threw a coin in. Ellie went back to the wishing well and threw a coin in. Magic sparkles reappeared all around her, and she started shrinking until she returned to her normal size. "That's better," she said to herself. and went home to eat. As she sat at the kitchen table, she couldn't help but think, if being a giant meant small cupcakes, surely being the size of an ant mean ginormous cupcakes? She smiled with mischief and fished a coin out of her pocket.
¿Te gustó esta lectura? Pues dale like y suscríbete al canal. Recuerda que tienes una lista de reproducción donde encontrarás más de 200 lecturas para practicar el idioma inglés. También tenemos otras listas de reproducción como vocabulario, tiempos verbales, phrasal verbs y demás. Así que hazle clic en la campanita para que no se te olvide ninguna notificación que yo haga. Ahora, si quieres clases de inglés con Teacher Clau, pues entra a www.teacherclau.com y encontrarás todos mis cursos. Así que nos vemos muy pronto.